here 2 days into a row. Just thinking, just thinking. How are you doing, Sean and Diane? I must change the batteries onto my Kindles because they're not lighting up all that much. Alrighty, so give me one tiny little second. How was everybody's day today? Was it good? Was it mediocre? Was it bad? What was going on with it? And how can we make it better? Buonasera, bellissima. Ma come stai? Come stai, Jasmina? All right, PayPal it shall be, and here we go. Alrighty. Here, let's go like that. Let's go like this. Oh no, hold on. Okay. All right. So, I have Jasmine. I've got Julie. So I've got Jasmine. You're going to be up first, sweetie pie. Yes, you are. I'm going to go and see after Jasmine. I'm going to go and see Julie. You're next onto my list, my sweetie pie. Then I'm going to go and see Love Sean, and then we're going to go and see our beautiful Susan. So the list at this moment is Jasmine, MZ, Love Sean, and Susan. So my beautiful MZ, if you want to stick around, you'll be up in about 4 or 5 minutes. Shall not be too long, my sweetie pie. As for my beautiful Amy, sweetie, you'll be on up in about 15 minutes. I would say about 15 minutes should be your turn, sweetie. Allora, va bene, sì, è perfetto. Grazie mille, Julie, sweetie. All right, so hold on. Let me just go into my email. We're starting off with you, my beautiful Jasmine. Oh, my dear God, I've got a lot of stuff that accumulated over here. Let me just do this and that. And I found you, Jasmine. You're right over here. This is not good. So don't forget, tomorrow, 8 p.m. is our live. And then it's our weekend. Our weekend is as usual. So it is my great pleasure for the reply. I reply to every single thing you shall send. Sometimes, my beautiful Jasmine, I will have a little bit of a delay, like a 24-hour delay. But I shall never leave, never, ever, ever leave something that is not sent back. So if you write anything to me, I will definitely write something to you, some type of acknowledgement in some kind of way. And if I don't, you need to remind me because it got lost somewhere into my email. Because the whole point over here is not simply about knowing answers and giving you answers. It's about being a community. It's about being family. It's about being able to reach out on different type of levels. So that's the point, and that's what I want to get across. So that being said, my beautiful Jasmine, let's go on forward with you. So the list again is Jasmine, MZ, Love Shine, and Susan. Let's not forget onto Monday, full moon, first full moon of the year, sweetie pies. Okay, Love Shine, hopefully you're feeling better today. Hopefully you are, sweetie. I know that yesterday you were a little bit kind of annoyed about different kind of things. I hope you're doing better. Jasmine, I'm into your questions. So let's go to question number 1. All right. You spoke with Gigi today. Good for you. Okay. Okay, so let me go see if that's true or not. So, will the actual attending at events actually kind of strengthen the bond with him is a little bit what you're wondering in your question. Number 1, right? Yeah. Here we go. That's the main question. It seems to be popping through with that one. Who's onto the other side? Hi, loves. Nice to see you onto the other side. Welcome to the channel. Please do note, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and like. And every 5 new subscribers, we do offer a free reading. But please, 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 sweetie pies, do not post your questions until actually mentioned to post your questions. All right? All right, so here we go. Dwayne, you're back, sweetie. Nice to see you, love. All right, so will attending these events actually strengthen the bond with him? Is that a yes? Is that a no? How is that a following on through? It's a yes and it's a no. What I'm going to say is this. If you're actually looking for like an actual connection, like being together, being into a relationship, I don't feel like this is going to be the right moment, the right place. And I don't feel like attending is really going to change anything. Now, I feel like attending could actually provide more opportunities for interaction, but it doesn't guarantee a stronger bond altogether. His behavior altogether is suggesting that his priorities and his connections may already actually be quite established, and that he might not quite actively seek a deeper type of a connection, regardless of your participation in something or not. So the key over here is to actually attend these events if you honestly want to. So this needs to be coming something from you. If you want to, then please do go ahead with it, but not necessarily in order to seek validation or to change his perception. So basically, I'm saying things could become better. The connection could become stronger, but it's not necessarily going to lead to something that is loving or caring or a relationship or anything of the such, but it could definitely make a stronger type of bond and relationship into your friendship, into the type of relationship that you have as colleagues altogether. Now, why did he stay silent about his girlfriend, right? Because why should he? Why should he say anything altogether? I feel like basically he doesn't really want to surprise anybody. He doesn't really want to, like, if you actually asked him, he would have answered you, and he would have answered you quite directly. This is the way that I feel. Yes, I have a girlfriend, so on, so on, so on. But if nobody actually asks him, he's not really doing anything wrong. He can fantasize, he can think, he can do a lot of things. But if he's not physically doing anything, then maybe this is just the way a little bit that he is. So I'm going to say that his silence definitely does indicate that there is a certain amount of discomfort. There is a little bit of surprise, but there's also a certain unwillingness to actually discuss those personal matters into a professional setting. Let's say you guys were out at the bar. It would be completely different, but this is not it. So I feel like he has chosen not to respond to avoid revealing anything about his personal life, or because of the mention of his girlfriend kind of caught him a little bit off guard. So sweetie, I'm going to say it's possible that he felt a little bit uneasy, but didn't really want to escalate the conversation by addressing it really directly. That's what I'm getting from it, sweetie. Now, how are things going to progress, you say, professionally and personally after you guys actually had this chat? Let's go and see. All right. Professionally, the conversation is going to lead to more awareness onto his part. About how he interacts with you into the workplace. He might make small little adjustments to kind of maintain that professionalism, but especially after you kind of raise your concerns. All right. I'm going to say significant changes into his behavior may depend on how he actually processes, if you will, the feedback over time. So more time is going to be necessary for you to actually see any changes or modifications, professionally speaking. He's going to need to kind of analyze it a little bit more. Now, personally speaking, I feel like he's going to be thinking about the conversation, and I feel like his willingness to get to know you onto a deeper level is somewhat a little bit uncertain into his mind. Not everything is completely clear. So I feel like his previous actions suggest that he may keep his personal bonds separate from his professional ones. So any deeper type of connection would actually require mutual effort. And I'm going to say shared interests altogether. So probably not all that much is necessarily going to be happening from this moment on. All right. It's really going to depend on how your conversation is going to move on forward. But I'm going to say probably not all that much. We're going to keep things as professional as we possibly can. I don't see him interacting onto a personal level. I still see him keeping his professional level on one side and his personal onto the other. I don't feel like he actually wants to mingle both of them together, sweetie. Mm-mm. Now, how did he feel about the chat and what were his thoughts afterwards? All right. Now, he likely felt a mix of a bunch of different kind of things. So I'm going to say surprise. I'm going to say defensiveness. I'm going to say reflection. I feel like the discussion kind of made him feel a little bit more aware of his actions. But I don't necessarily believe that he agrees with your perspective or the way that you see things. So I feel like he's seeing things a little bit slightly uncomfortable, but also completely 100% respects your courage in addressing the issue altogether. So I'm going to say moving on forward could be more cautious into his interactions with you and really just kind of ensuring for him that he doesn't appear dismissive or unprofessional in any kind of way. So, my advice for you coming from Spirit would be to stay true to your values. You've expressed your concerns clearly and professionally. Now you need to focus on maintaining your standards and your boundaries altogether. You need to continue to observe his actions, so pay attention to the way that he treats you moving on forward because the action speaks so much more than words do. And don't overanalyze his silence, sweetie. It might not mean as much as it actually seems, but there's a lot of overthinking that could kind of lead to unnecessary stress. So one little step at a time. Okay, sweetie? Hello, my beautiful love own sweetie pie. Let me know if there's anything else, okay, sweetie? And I'm sending you so much love, sweet one. All right, so MZ. Jasmine, sai qualcosa oltre? Simply tell me. Let me know if there's anything else. Or else I shall say buonasera, buonanotte e sogni d'oro, bellissima. Tutto va bene. And good for you, sweetie. Good for you for standing on by within your feelings and your wants and your desires today. Good for you, sweetie. It is important to do so. So I'm proud of you, my beautiful. I am. You did a lot of things that were kind of difficult for you to do today, and I'm proud of you for doing so. Hold on. Alrighty. So, MZ, you're up next, sweetie. MZ followed by Love Shine. Love Shine, if you would like to post your questions, you can definitely post them on away. And then we're going to go and see our beautiful Susan right after. So, Julie, hold on. I'm retrieving your questions at this moment. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's do this. And voila. Let me just read over here. So you've been monitoring. Yes. Okay, so your question number one, you actually did it. You did reach on out. So what you're actually wondering is not, because we already discussed about it and you already did it. So let's go see how he's actually feeling about the fact that you reached on out, right? That's what we're supposed to look at, I think. So how is he actually feeling? I'm going to switch it on up to how he's actually feeling about the fact that you reached on out. And I think impact onto the relationship, all right? I think that's what we're supposed to switch it on about. And again, anybody who is into that or close to that place, I hope everybody is staying quite safe. I hope you have a place to go to if you are concerned by it, to refuge. And my dear God, I hope everybody is going to be okay. From what I can see over here, I actually feel like it was a good thing for you to actually reach on out. I feel like he felt like it was kind, it was sweet, it was nice, and it's not necessarily something that he would have done. Now, why would he not necessarily have done it or reached on out to tell you about it? Simply because he didn't want to bother you. He didn't want to create any problems in any kind of way. So he would not have necessarily discussed this with you. Now, I like the fact that he did this, that you did reach on out, that there was somewhat of a discussion, there was somewhat of a moving on forward, because that is allowing for more relaxation, more, I'm going to say, a certain relief of a stress in a way. How? Because he knows that you're thinking about him, because he thinks and he knows that you're wondering about him, but not just about him, but you're also offering help to people that are around him. So if he needs help or anybody else needs help, you're there and you're offering, and that's absolutely beautiful. So basically, I'm going to say the impact onto the relationship. This is a beautiful gesture that could actually kind of come on in to deepen the bond by showing your kindness and your reliability, because it's not just about reaching out to say, how are you doing? The other day you were thinking about reaching on out saying, hey, how are you doing? Everything is such. I hope you're okay. But this is different. This is about saying, I hope you're okay. I'm really worried about you because it's getting closer to you. If you know anybody or anything as such, I've got a place to be. Now that is beautiful. That is angelic altogether. So you're giving on through those vibes of kindness and reliability, I believe is how you say it. It positions you as somebody that he can count on, even into the most challenging times. So I'm going to say over here that this is a beautiful gesture of yours. It shows love, it shows abundance, care, but it also shows that you're open, not only to him, but to maybe people that he actually knows that are around him. So it shows that you've got beautiful intentions into all of it, and it's only going to be good. Hi, my dear Sean. Nice to see you, sweetie. Hello, Angela, also. No, that's it. Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah. He's not going to take up onto the offer, and I don't believe that it was overwhelming. I'm going to go and see, but there's no doubt it was not overwhelming in any kind of a way, but he's not going to take up onto the offer because I don't believe he's going to need it. Thank you so very much, my beautiful love shine, for sending the questions to my email. You're going to be on up next. I'll be with you quite shortly, sweetie. I know that you were, my beautiful Julian. I have no doubt about that, sweetie. So, you know what? He's not going to take up onto the offer because I don't feel like he is going to be needing it. But the offer is there. So it is nice, it is loving, it is kind, it is sweet, and it is greatly appreciated in a million different kind of ways, sweetie pie. I know you don't. I know all you care is about him being safe. And he will remain safe and he will be safe, sweetie. Sean, you changed your picture, love. So basically, I'm going to say over here, sweetie pie, it was not too overwhelming, but he is definitely not going to be taking up onto the offer neither. He will think about it if he does need it, but I don't believe he's going to need it, so he's not going to take up. If he did actually need it, he would take up onto the offer, but I don't believe as though he needs to. Will the little lady give up on them? Yeah, that's a difficult one. She hasn't started yet, so, but I feel like she's so-ish. She's so-ish because she's very at the beginning, like you go, you search, you look for different kind of things, but you don't really know what the heck you're doing. You don't have any idea. You're just kind of trying. And I know that you've got to begin somewhere, and sometimes that's the best way to actually do it, to look here and look there and kind of combine your stuff together. But I just feel as though she has no idea what she's doing, but she's wanting to do something, and she's definitely not wanting to actually put money into it. So for the moment, this is all on her. Is she actually going to manage to do it? Well, that's a whole different story. But point being over here, is she going to give up? She hasn't started yet, so For the moment, I feel as though her only plan is to kind of try and see where this is going to go at this moment in time. But I mean, she could be persistent. She could be persistent. She could definitely continue to say, oh, I'm going to try to, master this craft, to get some more ideas, figure out some more things. She could. So if she's persistent over time, she could try more. She will end up stopping entirely. But I believe that for us, blocking her energetically through spiritual practices that we're going to be doing is a very strong step, and that should be good enough to kind of kick her out of the picture, if you will. It's going to ground us strong into our anchoring. We're going to have our roots so darn deep that she's not going to be able to go and reach out towards them. So I feel like she's going to end up losing the focus for her thoughts and her ideas actually fairly quickly. So I'm going to say for the moment, I don't see her really continuing for a very long time. And I don't really see her actually being able to do it. So for the moment, she's not really worrying me. I know she's an annoyance because she is there, but she's not scaring me in any kind of a way. Yeah, that's it. See, so is it going to actually do something? No, that's why it's not scaring me. I feel like it's how could I say, kind of like a drop of the water into the ocean altogether. You're not even going to notice one single ripple coming from it. So I feel like she's actually going to bring in more confusion into her life. I feel like she's going to bring more disorganization, and she's just going to have to do more things by her own self. This is actually going to end up giving a little bit of the opposite of what she's actually looking for with Mike. So sweetie pie, no. And nonetheless, we're taking the steps beforehand to block and to neutralize the energy. It is going to fall on through, sweetie. It is going to have the most minimal impact ever. The key for us is to remain and maintain positive into our energy. So we do not allow her to gain our energy, to gain our feelings or our thoughts. And that's going to be the most important thing. So we need to trust that these protective measures that we are implementing are there to keep the barriers and strong within your connection with you and Mike, and make them stronger than ever. So there is no external interference. Anyways, there's no external people or energies that are coming on through. Let's go see if he's thinking about you and if there's any nice, beautiful, lovey-dovey thoughts. All right. So today, I see him being a little bit blocked. I see him being a little bit hesitant into his thoughts, into his ideas. I do see a little bit of imbalance also coming on through, but I feel like he's got a lot of things that are onto his mind. When we look at the very outcome of it all, I am seeing over here the Four of Wands. I am seeing happiness. I am seeing togetherness. I am seeing some goodness and some positivity that is moving on forward. So I'm going to say that I feel like at this moment he's actually quite preoccupied with a lot of things that are going on to his life, like work, fire, everything as such. Now, that being said, he appreciates your concern. He appreciates your love. He appreciates the fact that you sent out a beautiful, thoughtful message. But I feel like at this moment in time, I feel like he's more into his thoughts. He's more into his ideas. I see him thinking about actually making some type of a music. And why do I see music note? I have no idea. It could be a clip. There's a little something that he's working on that you might receive into the following 2 to 3 weeks. But I feel as though he's working on something that is actually being quite inspired by the way that he feels about you and in the connection. So a little bit of an incognito kind of a message coming your way. But that's what I'm getting into the lovey-dovey sweetie pie. Blocked? No. We're blocking the energy. You're not blocked. We are blocking the energy that is coming from the other way. I know, sweetie pie. I know. You're not blocked in any kind of way, my beautiful Julie. The energy is somewhat a little bit blocked at this moment. Yeah, I know, Hanson. I like the way you said that. Yeah, we all, Hanson, I feel like we all have annoying stumps around us. And if we think we don't, we probably do. We just don't know about it. We all have annoying stumps. We just don't always know where they're at and what we can do about them. Oh, my dear God. No, his energy, my beautiful Julie. Yes, his energy is into a place where he is feeling like he is into a place where he can't necessarily move on forward at this moment. He has a lot of things that are going on into his life, into his world, that it's kind of difficult for him to reach on out towards different things. So he has a lot of stress levels at this moment, and he needs to work on through those. That being said, you're still into his thoughts, you're still into his ideas, but it's not his main priority at this moment today as we speak to necessarily have a reach out. So, into his thoughts, like I said, at this moment, he is thinking about working on some type of snippet, some type of clip, some type of message, some type of musical message that he wants to send out to you. So you're always into his thoughts, you're always into his heart, but he has so many things that are going on at this moment that it's kind of difficult for him to kind of concentrate on one single thing altogether. I know, right? I know. Sometimes you gotta unroot them. Oh my God. Ah, jeez. It's not. Love is a complex. Love is complex. Love is complex, guys. And it hurts and it's complex, but it can be beautiful. It's a lot of things all at once. Okay, hold on. Let me go and see over here. All right. I'm moving on forward to Love Shine, who is going to be into my email. So just one brief moment. Up next after Love Shine is going to be Susan and Mimi. So Susan and Mimi are going to be coming on up. And here we go for Love Shine. Emails. And voila. So a timestamp is going to be right over here. All right. Enjoy your working, sweetie, into the meanwhile. Absolutely, Angela. 2025, new beginnings. We all try to get those new beginnings in 2025. So Love Shine is going to be 31 minutes. I'm going to go and read the questions into the meanwhile. No. All right, so let's start with your first question. Mark sat up until sleep with Amy. I am glad that you were able to see him today. It must not happen all that often that he's actually able to see you twice in 2 days. So I'm glad that he was actually able to see you at least once. Let's go and see what comes on through for you. Ooh. So Mark sat up until sleep with Amy. Getting our 9 of Cups followed on through by our 4 of Cups. Also getting over here our 10 of Pentacles. All right, sweetie. So I'm basically going to have to say he was not necessarily all that content about the way that things went today, simply because he was not able to spend enough time with you today. So that is going to be the main issue that is at hand. That being said, he did have a good day with you and he does love you so very much, but he wanted more. He wanted more time together and it was just not a possibility. So I will say, Mark, sun up until sleep with Amy. The love is there. It is present. It is nice. It is strong. He is thinking about you and loves the connection altogether. A little bit disappointed by the time spent together. Not because the time was not good, simply because it was not necessarily enough. And when I say not necessarily enough, it could mean that, and it doesn't necessarily mean in time. You could have spent 3 hours together, but he wanted to spend 5. You see where I'm going at? It was just not enough time for him. He wanted more. Now, him and the wife, how are things going with him and the wife? Looking for possibilities over here with our Seven of Cups. Looking for possibilities. Moving on forward, sweetie, moving on forward. I feel like there's a lot of barriers that have been lifted. I actually feel into a certain way that the holidays have done them somewhat some good. Into the way that they have not rekindled their love, but I feel like it was a positive moment. And I feel like they needed that positive time as a family, everybody kind of united together to give more hope for the upcoming months. That's what I can see. So I would say sun up until sleep with wife. It's not bad, it's not good. It's just okay. Things are moving with the flow, but we're still kind of riding along with the energy that we had during vacation, which seemed to be good, relaxed, enjoying a lot of family time. Things seem to be going well. Yeah, she was always a little bit kind of there, a little bit kind of pushing things, but things basically went well. It was not as frustrating. Now, when I say that he's trying, yes. When I say that he's trying to make the wife happy, putting the effort in. He's wanting to put the effort in there. You're not going to like my answer. You are not going to like my answer, my beautiful. But if I don't tell you, one day you'll be upset at me. So I feel like he's trying to do the best as he can. I don't feel like he's trying to put on a facade. I mean, if he could have a better relationship with his wife, he would. If he could have good socks, if they could get along well, if they could understand each other, if they could talk, if they could go back to a place where they used to be, where things were good, he would. It's just that he doesn't see that happening. He doesn't see himself going into that kind of place. And that's where I basically see that the major problem is happening. So when I say that Mark is trying to put more time in to make the wife happy, sometimes it's just kind of make her happy at that moment in time because he doesn't want to have problems. But I feel like they have enough problems. I feel like he tries to make things easier as possible. Why? Because honestly, a multitude of things. It's just not one thing, sweetie. He wants to make sure that his family is united, that they're okay. He doesn't want to have a breaking of that. So he will do absolutely anything to try to keep this family united. That being said, at the very same time, to keep a family united, you cannot be into a family, never have socks, never kiss, never hug, never anything with your partner. Something is off, something is wrong. There's got to be some type of give and take that is happening between them. So there is no doubt that every once in a while, I know that he doesn't tell you because he doesn't want to hurt you. And I know it doesn't happen often, but it still does happen. Like I would say once a month or once every 2 months, they do have socks. They do have these tiny little kisses. They're not deep and passionate. It's not a French kiss, but they do have kisses. They do have a hug. They do have, I touch you into the back of, onto your back. And like there are some loving moments between them, but there's not a lot of affectionate, deep moments between them because they kind of feel like they've lost that connection. But that being said, I feel like they are trying to make it better and they're trying to do a lot of things to make it better. I don't necessarily feel like they're successful in it, but they are trying to do their very best. So that's what I mean with it. Honestly, even if things were going really well and, wife things were repaired and things were okay and family was okay, he would still continue to see you because you are able to bring in a different level into his life. You bring in love, you bring in passion, you bring in all these little secrets and all these little things that he would never tell his wife. You bring in that secret side of him that he cannot show to anybody else. And that is very important. And he values you so very much in a million different kind of ways. So I don't want you to be afraid of, oh, things are going well with the wife and well with the family. He's going to end up leaving me. I don't see that happening. Now, Mark and Amy through now till April. Let me go and see that. Then I'm going to go and do the tarot. I'm going to go see what's happening into the live. Susan is going to be on up next, by the way. Okay, so and Amy, I'm in email, so I'm not looking into the chat, by the way, if anybody is talking. Mark and Amy now through April. It's okay. It's all right. Nothing big. What you've got is what you've got. There's no changes. All right. So you're still together. You're still spending time together, but you're still not spending enough time together like you would actually like to. Sometimes you kind of feel like it's a little bit challenging. But altogether, I feel like you're doing the very best that you possibly can. You're still together. You love him. He loves you. You're still seeing each other. He's going to end up before July. He's going on to the trip, by the way. Okay, before July. Somewhere around Valentine's Day or March break, he's not going to be there. He's going to be leaving for a few days, I assure you. So, sweetie pie, from here till then, until April, I don't see any problems with you guys. There is love. There is a continuity. But there's not necessarily growth. There is stagnation. And tarot from M. Here we go with tarot from M. No, sweetie pie, no, yeah, Last spring was like last April. They definitely have some things that go on every once in a while. I'm going to say once a month, once every 2 months. Now, the fact that he's trying to work things out because of family, but he doesn't want to leave her neither. He doesn't want to leave her neither, sweetie. And I know it's frustrating, Love Shine. I don't want you to become upset at me. I know it's frustrating, but he does love her and he does care for her. Like he loves you and he cares for you, but both in different ways. He doesn't want to sacrifice her, but he doesn't want to sacrifice you neither. If they were only friends and nothing was ever happening, they wouldn't be together, sweetie. They would not be together. They would not be going on romantic trips and going different places and planning all different kind of things. She rules him. She asks him to do something and he does it. Why? Because he doesn't want to have any problems. He doesn't want to have any issues. He's trying to make things as best as possibly can be, but he doesn't feel comfortable around her. He doesn't feel like he can be himself. He doesn't feel like he can open on up sexually or within his desires or his fantasies or anything as such. He does not always believe that he can be his true self with her, but he finds that within you. That is why you are there. That is why he has two different type of relationships, but he needs both of them into his life because she cannot give him what you give him. Yeah. So what I am seeing over here, sweetie, I do feel like they are planning something where they are going to be somewhat alone. I do see that. There is no doubt about it. So there is going to be somewhat of some vacation, probably alone before the summertime. It could be maybe 2 or 3 days. No doubt about it. As for the socks, sweetie, you don't necessarily have to have socks. You can have without necessarily having intercourse, you can have a different type of pleasure. You can have a different type of how could I put it without being 18 plus? You can have different type of pleasures together. All right. So do they kiss sometimes? Yes. Do they hug sometimes? Yes. Does sometimes she wants to? Yes. Does he want to? Not usually. But does it happen sometimes? It does. When we look at it, it's not happening, but it doesn't mean that it's never happened. If you asked me, is he having sex with this person today? And I say, no, he is not having sex with this person. It's not to say that 3 days later, he did not have sex with that person. It can happen. What I'm saying is, it is not something that happens often. They might have sex 4 or 5 times a year, which is nothing in comparison to you and him. But they do have still some intimate moments without necessarily talking about having those deep, very intimate type of relationships. Yes. I feel like it's more coming in February or March as for their little trip. As for tarot coming from him to you, I feel as though he is trying to gain more strength. He is trying to be stronger towards you. He wants to be able to message you more. He wants to be able to be closer to you. And he wants you to know that you are always into the back of his mind with our Four of Cups. You are never very far into his mind. May he contact you or may he not. He always loves you, sweetie. What you need to remember by all this, my beautiful love shine, is not the question of do they have socks every once in a while. That's not the question. Do they care about... What is the question over here is, does he love you? Yes, he does. Does he love her? He cares for her. They have a long relationship. They've been together. They have family. He cares for her and he doesn't want to lose that. But he doesn't love her like he loves you. He needs you into his life to fulfill his wants, his desire, his passion, his happiness. You are the happy part of his life. She is a complicated part of his life. But he doesn't want to lose the complicated part because the complicated part does have friendship and is related to family, to his children. And that is very important for him. The outlook of people around him is very important also. And that is all tied into the family matters, if you will. Oh, Yvonne, absolutely. But it's cold over here. I don't know about you, but it's cold over here. Yeah. I'm going to go and see our beautiful Susan into the meanwhile. So here we go with a timestamp for Susan. And Susan's going to be out 45:30. Love shine, love shine. That's not the point. Even if he does have sex with his wife 2, 3, 4 times a year, if he does it to maintain the balance into the relationship so he doesn't lose his family, but he loves you and wants to be with you. But again, love shine, that's entirely yours to decide upon. It has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with you. But you need to know that he loves you with all his heart and soul, but he is not going to leave the other, neither. So the other is always going to be present. I feel like you both need to live a little bit in, without knowing about each other, you both need to accept that there is somebody else that is into the picture because he loves both of you guys, but in completely different ways. Susan. Here we go, my love. Here we go. Just one moment. All right, so just one tiny little second, and here we go. So, Susan. Susan. Yvonne, I've got you. We're going to be right after Mimi, okay, love? So, what does Andrew thinking and feeling about you? What is he up to because he's acting strange, right? He's always a little bit acting strange, my beautiful Susan. He's always a little bit into the strangeness of his personality because he's always a little bit hiding something, my love. All right, let's go see. I'm going to shut off the shorts feed for tonight. We'll reopen it tomorrow. All right, so let's concentrate on the other side, loves. Anybody into the shorts feed, we shall see you tomorrow, sweet loves.